Hello and welcome to Nights at Ethereal Epiphanies. This is my channel where I talk about all the things. Today, I'm giving a midweek update. So I believe I just published today my video about like doing a weekly review. And actually, oh, sorry, I didn't realize that the camera's a little bit. Yeah. So I recorded that on maybe Saturday or Sunday. And today is Wednesday. So I want to give like a midweek update of like what's going on, etc. So I decided to do a hack. Okay, yeah. So I had decided to just do a hackathon. And a hackathon is when you have a goal or an objective that you want to reach in a short time frame, and you just focus on that for whatever like amount of time. So in New York City, I used to participate in, or actually, I was like kind of like one of the moderators for the hackathons at the Museum of Natural History. And what would happen is that in a weekend, you'll get like a bunch of different students or whatever. And, they had like maybe 72 hours to build an application that was around science. So that's an example of a hackathon. So, oh, wait, I totally forgot. Oh my God, totally forgot. So, by the way, I always love to tell the time of the sunset for where I am and the degrees. So, by the way, today, so I just got reminded because I saw that the sun shining again. So today the sun is going to set at, so I saw one app said 4:46 p.m., but another one said 4:58 p.m. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I'm actually gonna track it. But yeah, so and the degrees today, it's 28 degrees. Sorry, the degrees today is 28 degrees Celsius and 15 degrees, sorry, 28 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 degrees Celsius. So I'm gonna be honest, like it actually feels to me, it feels like 40 out here. But I mean, I do have on like 2 to 3 layers, but it feels pretty warm than it did previously. But anyway, yeah, sorry. I like to always just tell you guys like the sunset and what degrees are, etc. So yeah, so to go back, yeah, so I am doing this for myself. I'm doing a hackathon because, as you all might know, if you're new here or not, I have until January 31st to find a place to live, make income, etc. So I said, okay, I'll do a hackathon to, because I'm so like, I'm just so leery about like trying to raise money again with the GoFundMe. And I was thinking about the people in California and how you know, they need help right now. And so I'm just like, okay, maybe a GoFundMe's not right now. So I said, okay, I'll do a hackathon where I just focus on building and launching as many products as possible between now and January 31st to try to generate some form of income for myself. So now that you know what a hackathon is and you know what my plans are. So, okay, so it's now been about 24 hours. It's almost 48 hours since I started the hackathon. And my goal was that I actually worked with ChatGPT and Claude. So, okay, I had my idea list. So, in a previous video, I mentioned how I had an idea that someone had made ten to $12,000 from. And then on top of that, since I made that video, I saw someone else. So I had in my idea database, I had the idea to build a software for founders to be able to give investor updates to like LPs, VCs, etc. So people that have invested in their company, because I used to do this as a director of information security, part of my job was helping the founders provide updates to investors. So like, what are the vulnerabilities that we had in our code base? Like, what was the latest pen test? How did we resolve it, etcetera? And just giving them, like, an update. Also, like, how we maybe streamline any processes. Like, my job was to be supportive to the founders in, like, providing, like, business updates and investor updates to the investors. So, that's probably, like, that's the simplest version of me explaining that. So that gave me the idea of like how I remember how manual that process was. And so I remember one of the last companies I worked with, I was like, why don't we just make this a dashboard where they could just log in and see without us having to like do like a whole like sprint of meetings and go back and forth and talk about what happened. Like, why don't we just have a dashboard that pulls in all this data and then we just have 1 or 2 people just go through and make sure everything's correct and then like send that off to the investors. That was my mindset years ago. And so, like, to me, it didn't make any sense. Like, also, like, sometimes it would happen, some companies that I would work with, because I was like the most senior person on the security or like IT team, like one of the investors would ask to meet with me and just like give, like, I would have to give them like a brief update of like X, Y, and Z. And that was like, I didn't mind that. It was part of my job. But I was like, this can be automated, like, or like, rather, this process can be done differently. That's the way that I always saw it. So, yeah. So, long story short, sorry, I kind of lost track of it. That kind of leans into one of the projects that I am building now. So, okay, let me just go back a bit. So, in this hackathon, I actually have so many different projects that I'm working on. And I realized that I kind of like went on a tangent there. It wasn't part of the original plan. But yeah, so to go back during this hackathon, I'm like, okay, actually works with Claude, AI, GPT from my idea database, like which ones can I do like in the next 2 weeks, whether it's MVP, like, like a minimum viable product, whether it's signups, et cetera. Like, what can I do to like get people to sign up and make money right now? So I fed it my idea database and I had it tell me, okay, which ones are easy to build within 2 weeks or less, and then which ones are most likely for me to make money. So the first 24 hours of me doing this hackathon, that's what I was focused on. I was focused on what it told me is a good idea. And actually, okay, let me see. So it said that the first few projects that I should work on is a website that I have started to build called Built with AI. So it's highlighting all the things that people have built with AI, whether it's agents, chatbots, websites, workflows, etc. It's highlighting what can be done because me, as someone who's still learning about all this and really trying to figure everything out, like I find that I'm constantly trying to figure out what is the right content. What like which sorry, the it's kind of windy. I'm constantly trying to figure out like which person should I follow? Which person has these AI templates or agent templates that I should, follow. Like I'm always trying to figure that out. So I was thinking this website built with AI would be like a place that people can come to like find what they can do with AI, but also to highlight creators, etc., who are building agencies like AI based agencies, like etc. So ChatGPT told me I should focus on that. It told me a lot of other things that I still questioned, but I started to work on it. So I also had a website, which I mentioned in my last video, Coffee Shop Jobs. The other one was micro weddings. So another thing, I don't want a wedding for myself ever, but I want to do wedding for other people so badly. Like I really want to like do a wedding from like start to finish. So that's the other thing it told me to work on. So it said built with AI, micro weddings. Sorry, this list is kind of messed up. Oh yeah, and to work on like the two newsletters and directory platforms that I had planned on working on. But the other one I was talking about earlier about like investor updates. So that's called Veritas House. VERITASHAUS. So that project, once I got to, because like I tried to just like work, because all these projects that I mentioned just now, I had been working on them since last year. I just never finished them. And so I figured, okay, I'll use this time during my like self-made hackathon to like finish these up. And then as I started finishing them up, I was like, oh man, like actually I should have streamlined this a little bit better. I should have created better like project documentation, goals, tasks, etc. And so that led me to then think about, okay, what about sorry, I hope you guys can hear the wind chimes in the back. But that led me to think about, okay, what about Veritas House? I just like very randomly this morning got the idea. I was like, wait a second. What if I do something where I think I mentioned earlier, like a GoFundMe. I was thinking, what if aside from doing a GoFundMe as a backup, what if I launch Veritas House, which is the investor platform? What if I just launch that? And to get people to see how well it works, like another thing, people always build products that they don't use themselves. Like how many times do you hear, of like large companies and like they don't even use their own tools internally. So I was thinking that should probably be one of the first things I launch is Veritas House. I was thinking what I'll do is that I'll launch Veritas House. And as an example, people can choose out of all of my projects, they can choose like different tiers that they want to invest in. So I was thinking, I'm just throwing out numbers right now. This is not real numbers, but I was thinking, okay, I'll have three tiers. People can invest $20 in me, $50 in me, $100. And then for each tier, they get access to a certain amount of products that I build. So I mentioned in previous videos, I've built two iOS apps for people with ADHD, like how to manage your shopping and the food in your refrigerator. I've also actually made a time management app. A third one I forgot about is I've also created a app to manage your videos on your iPhone because iPhone does not have a way for you to like sort through to see like what's the like what videos are the largest and then like archive them or like send them somewhere else. So I was thinking I have all these things that I want to launch. I just haven't had the time, et cetera, blah, 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 whatever excuses. So I was thinking, okay, what I'll do is that people can choose what items they want to invest in. And then let's say like for the $100 tier, they will get access to X amount of products. So like they'll receive updates as part of the Veritas House platform. They'll receive updates of like where I am, if whether they can join, not whether, but they'll join the like the beta part. They'll be able to test it. They'll be able to give feedback. If they see it as like, a product or company that's gonna make even more or like make a decent amount of money, they can even choose to invest more money because they can say, "Oh yeah, I've tried her product for 2 months. It's working great. Here, I want to invest more in it, so like you can focus on this." So that's like my update of like what I'm just thinking about at this point because I literally spent the first 24 hours coding nonstop, nonstop. And I even say this about other developers. Like, how many times do developers, entrepreneurs, etc., spend so much time building and doing things and not actually talking to people? So anyway, so I posted on Twitter, and one of my good friends had reached out to me. It's like, hey, we actually talked about this 4 months ago, and I told you that you should just like put out a website and just let people, like, invest in you, and I was like, "That's actually you're right, I forgot we talked about that, and that's a great idea." So, I'm saying this to continue the hackathon, but my plan is to halt the coding aspect for right now. I'm still gonna code, but my main focus is getting the Veritas House application up and running, make a way for people to make investments, and I'll cap it, like, okay, if you wanna make a $100 investment 20 people, $1,000 investment, 100 people. I don't know. I'm just like throwing numbers out, but that's my thought is to like create some scarcity behind it a little bit because all of my ideas on that list, those are all things that I posted on Twitter and people feel like, oh my God, I'll pay money for that, X, Y, and Z. So, and on Reddit. So that's my thought right now. So right now, almost 48 hours into this hackathon, thought is to like, okay, really focus on people and focus on what people want and then build. Because what I don't want to happen is I'm spending all the time coding, all this time building, and then fast forward and people are like, I don't want this. I didn't ask for this. So yeah, that's my thought right now. That's my midweek update of where I am right now in this process. And I'll keep you guys updated about how this is going. I think for now, I might just do like a blog post update, like every 24 hours or so about like how this is all going. Or also I started threads on Blue Sky and Twitter. So I'll keep you all updated. But yeah, this is what I'm thinking right now to yeah, just different ways to like build serious income for myself without doing any of those scammy stuff like building actual products that people will actually use and they'll actually pay for and actually get value out of. That's my goal right now. So that's my ethereal epiphany for today. I'm so curious. Have any of you ever done anything like this? I know that I found out that quite a few of my lovely subscribers and supporters on here actually also work in tech. I know there's a lot who don't work in tech, but some of you do. Like, have you ever done anything like this where you do like a hackathon of some sort, or you like to spend like lots of time like working on something that you know is gonna, like, make you money? Have you ever launched something that had made you a decent amount of income, whether it's $100 per month, 500, whatever? I'd love to hear, like, what process you took. Like, did you also focus on, like, talking to people first and then building? Or did you do vice versa and things didn't work out? Or maybe they did work out. I wanna hear all the stories, all the backgrounds, everything. If you're a non-tech person, doesn't matter. I still wanna hear from you. Please just share, like, do you wanna know more about all this? Should I share more of these things? Again, I said I didn't wanna make this channel very, like, technical, but I do think maybe it'll be helpful to maybe share the entrepreneur aspect and journey of it, as well as me trying to get out of homelessness. So, I'm not sure for now, but I hope this was helpful. Thank you for sticking around. I hope you have a great day, evening, night, wherever you are, and I will see you again soon. Thank you for sticking around for Nice Ethereal Epiphanies, and I will see you soon. Bye.